a working mom of 2 little kids. I am also a top producing real estate agent, and I'm going to take you behind the scenes today on what's going on my weekends, not just on a to-do level, but also on a mental level, family level, and what it sometimes means when you are selling a whole bunch of houses. My name is Janine Sasso. I'm the owner and founder of the Hyperlocal Agent, and I'm personally also a self-proclaimed workaholic. Now, some of you might say, well, that's good. Some of you might say that's bad. But regardless of what it is, I do think weekends are just prime real estate times for me to get in front of people, to build relationships, to be out there, and to really do what I do best, which is to help people grow my business and help the community. Now, when weekends are the best time to do that, it does conflict many times with your traditional setup. I have 2 kids, they are in school, they do go to school Monday through Fridays, and one of these things that I have struggled with is really the obligations on weekends for sports, extracurricular, play dates, birthdays. And yes, I want to do it all. I want to be there for all the things, but I'll be honest, I have skipped a birthday party. And that is oftentimes due to the fact that I do think my weekends are like somebody else's Monday or Tuesday, right? It is work time for me. It is time for me to really show up and do more, which also means that I get to be home when the bus drops them off. That means that I get to be home when it's time for dinner. I get to be there to make breakfast. I can take off the sick days, right? There's a lot of good things that come with that. But one of the things that I needed to let go of as, again, a recovering workaholic is the weekends. And I personally do not have to work weekends at that stage in my career, but I choose to, okay? And that is important. Some of you are probably thinking I don't want to work weekends anymore. And if that is what you prefer, that's great. That's not how my business is structured. And I do think when people are out and about on the weekends, I would love to be there. I would love to be at an open house and meet them and see that excitement and help my sellers facilitate, selling their property to the best possible way that I can highlight all the benefits of it. And that's what I do for all of my clients. Now, what I had to learn is that it was okay to find my balance between work weekends and find my balance between non-work weekends. So essentially now when I look at it, I look at, okay, can I get in a month, let's say 8 days in a weekend, right? Can I get maybe 50%-ish of them in as work days? And can I get the other 50% in as family functions, right? It might be we're going out of town. It might be we have birthdays. It might be that there's a holiday we're celebrating with family. That might be that there's a game for my oldest. Again, whatever it means for me that I need to separate myself and not expect my weekends to be 100% work related. And again, some of you are saying that's not a problem at all, Janine, but for me, that was a big one mentally because I wanted to be there for my clients and my business, and I wanted to be there for my kids. Now, having this arrangement, making sure that I am partially doing this and partially doing that, has helped me just navigate this work-life balance that is really hard to have. It really is. And I've had my kids along for setting up signs. Again, for me, it's hey, can we go out and I'll get breakfast at a Starbucks and I will treat them to a chocolate brownie, and I will treat them to a chocolate milk, and we get to just talk and be in the car together. This to me is still, for me, time to hang out with them and to pour into them, to have conversation with them and be present while still fulfilling some of these obligations. And then after a certain point, right now, for example, I'm looking at more of a leverage point. These sign setups, can I potentially leverage these out, right? Open houses, could these be leveraged out and still be done the way I want them done? So again, a lot of it is leverage. A lot of it is always fluid, always changing. And at the end of the day, I need to be happy with what I have put in place. And we have found a really good balance lately where I think I'm pretty happy that I do have 50% of my weekends dedicated to work. I do have about 50% dedicated for family functions. And again, I am okay if one fluctuates more than the other. Big part of that one was just reading, I want to say it was The One Thing or Shift. It was a Gary Keller book for sure. So I highly recommend any of these books, to be honest with you, but it really helped to understand that a work-life balance is not 50-50 all the time. Sometimes it's 60-40, sometimes it's 70-30, and sometimes it's 70-30 the other way. So understanding balance and what it means to make you and yourself okay with that is big. The other part that I needed to really navigate is how my spouse handled me wanting to work weekends. Again, not everybody wants to. He was just happening to be married to somebody that really likes working on weekends. And again, yes, sometimes there is this backlash of, you know what, we should just hang out on the weekend, which yes, we should, but it needs to go onto the schedule. And there are some spontaneous things that do come up, no problem at all, but if it is on a general month, I like to make sure that we have time allotted for it. And it all comes back to one thing: communicate with each other. So hopefully you found this little glimpse in my own personal life a little helpful. And again, if you've struggled with what your weekends should look like, nobody can tell you. You're in charge. I can tell you I'm filming this right now, right here, and it's the weekend. Again, this to me was this morning. I hung out with my kiddos, and now it's time for a little bit of work time before I head out to an open house. So again, you find your balance, you stick with it, because at the end of the day, if it makes you happy and it makes you smile, that means you found a good, healthy balance for you. So hopefully it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next episode.